recording. Now we are.
How long will this thing record?
I don't know, but that's the recording right there.
Oh, fancy.
Yeah, that's the recording right there.
I need no light. I need no light.
Okay. All right.
How are we going to start this off?
I don't know, man. We're gonna just start. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna say hello.
1, 2. Guys, let me know if I'm blasting out your ears.
Sounds good to me.
1, 2, 1, 2.
That's my job over here to govern all of that shit. Don't forget, you can also move them. If you can't hear yourself, you can always position yourself.
Right there.
There you go.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Right there.
1, 2. Check 1, 2. Okay. Okay, we're counting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is a soft opening. I want to make sure there's a clap so I know where I'm beginning.
Oh,
You're recording in there.
yeah, you know,
Fantastic.
we just do every now and then and shit. Old school notes. Yes.
Where's my name?
Your drink.
Okay, we can't have that.
Right there. On the cooler.
On the cooler, right where you put it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Coolerization.
I'm surprised all I got together in a short amount of distance. That's why I'm a little kerfuffle. Okay, here we go. Counting in. 5, 4, 3, 2.
1.
Welcome. One. Welcome to Blend LA. My name is DJ Big D.
And I'm Dave Slayer.
And on this episode of Blend LA podcast, we have an unbelievable DJ producer extraordinaire that hails all the way from South Africa. We're going to jump right into it. Normally we do our normal banter. This is just too important for us to start all of that stuff. Okay, what? Hang on, stop.
You didn't announce the episode. You didn't announce
I didn't stop. I wasn't done. It's a long intro. I'm doing a long intro because we're not doing the normal banter catch-up.
We're not?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
You're jumping right into it.
All right, go ahead.
Okay? Okay. Take 2. Chime in. 5, 4, 3, 2. Welcome to Blend LA Podcast. My name is DJ Big D.
And I'm Dave Slayer.
And on this episode 21, producer extraordinaire that hails all the way from South Africa, Apiwe Bubu.
Episode 22.
Indeed. Did I say 21?
Yeah.
Okay, it's 22.
It's
Keep it
22.
rolling. Okay, fair
Keep
enough.
it rolling. Keep it rolling.
Mr. Bubu, how are you, sir? Thanks for joining us on The Blend.
Good. How you doing?
Good, real good. So we want to jump right into it. You now reside in Los Angeles, which is a big jump all the way from South Africa.
Yes,
so how did it all come about that you ended up here doing what you do for the culture of house music?
I'd say it came down to a decision. When I was back home, I'd say before 2012, doing the DJ thing, production thing, kind of got into music through sound engineering first, because at the time, folks was like, job,
Right,
music. What
Right.
about a job?
right.
And I was like, how am I going to convince them? Then I was like, sound engineering. That sounds like a job, right?
Engineering.
Engineering.
Yeah.
So they were like, okay.
Right.
And at the time, I was doing aeronautical engineering. I was
Okay.
trying to, like an engineer, right?
Right.
In college first year. So I dropped out and I was like, I can't do this. This is not me. And they were like, okay, think of something you want to do. And I said, sound engineering. They were like, okay, how long is it? Okay. I did it for a year. Got a job, actually. So my first job was out the gates. I was doing composing at a TV production company. So they do like the TV production, the
Sure.
show. They
Right.
give me the brief. They're like, okay, we need music, the theme music, blah, 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 blah.
Sure.
But I was under someone, right? I was a junior composer. So I was like, okay, so there's a job in this for real. And they saw that I was going to work 9 to 5, getting paid to make music.
Right.
Then I was DJing at the time too, because I was like, okay, house music was a love for me growing up, and I knew friends who were DJing, got into the scene, started DJing, got myself turntables, DJ. So this years I'm doing this years.
What year was this? That's what we have a
This
reference.
is like 2004,
Okay.
5, right? Because I think at that time it was 2004 with the job. So I did that 2004, 2005, 2006. The guy who owned the post production house where the composition was being done and the final mixing was a guy who studied music at Berkeley in the 70s.
Okay.
White dude, old dude, like he was older, like 60s already.
Right.
And he was hiring me as a young kid, just coming off like sound engineering. He's like,
Wow.
okay, you play keys, You just learn how to sound engineer. I'll give you a job.
Wow.
And he was like, okay, I see, you're still young. How about you go study this? And I said, where? He's like, Berkeley. And I was like, where's that? He's like, Boston. I'm like, never.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a stretch.
Yeah.
By any means, right? So I'm just this kid in Johannesburg, happy to have a job,
Uh-huh.
making music, DJing around the gigs. I know people, and I'm like, that's a jump. That's some whole changing countries. Can I afford it? Looked at the fees. I was like, nope, impossible. Folks looked at it, were like, well, we can't afford this. Then I was like, but I want to really do this because I looked at what they could offer, like the education and how better I'd become.
Yeah.
So then eventually I made the decision, I think 4 years in, doing stuff like professionally and like DJing and producing music. I was like, yeah, no, I really want to take it to that level.
Wow.
Then I made the decision, okay, let me audition. And then I had to grind the piano.
Wow.
At the time, I had my skills up with the DJing, everything was on point. Production, I had ideas, but I needed to get this piano thing on so I could get into the school, because that's where it begins. It's like the basic thing is you got to be proficient at an instrument.
Wow.
So I spent another 3 years getting proficient.
Well, before you even approached Berkeley, you were like, oh, wow, you're not playing.
Yeah, because they were, the auditions were tough. They were like, okay, you're not on the level yet.
Right.
Come back when you are. And I was like, okay, I'll come back. And I went back until I was like, okay, you're ready. Then I get scholarship, boom. Then I had to put the money together besides the scholarship, and then I moved 2012 to Berkeley.
Wow.
So you can imagine those years in between.
No, I used to live in Boston for a while. I used to walk by that campus and a bunch of people outside just smoking cigarettes.
Yeah, they call it the beach. They call it the Berkeley Beach.
Man, it was really hard.
Yeah, they call it the Berkeley Beach, right in front.
Yeah.
Smoking weed, cigarettes, just chilling.
Yeah. Love that energy.
Yeah.
So if you were about your music, Berkeley today and back then was still it, huh?
Yeah, it was like, okay, where's the best place to like get the best information, meet the best people, like
colleagues, cohorts,
because those people, I think you keep them for life.
Right,
that's the thing. Even coming out here, it's like it keeps popping up. Right. Okay, cool. That dude is in there. I know him. Blah blah blah. I reach out, or he says, "Hey, I was thinking about you for this project. Boom, boom, boom. This is the person. I think you're good for this." That's how I even got my first gig out here.
Well, it's another alumni from Berkeley.
Yeah. So the dude from Berkeley was with Tony. He knows Tony Maserati, and he was like, I see you. And I see how you're moving at school with this engineering stuff. And Tony's looking for a kid for an assistant. So he just got me connected to one of his assistants. And then they filter you. Like, they talk to you. And then they're like, okay, you're good for it. Then he introduced me to Tony. And then Tony was like, come through.
Wow. So you came out here straight from Boston?
Straight from Boston.
Finished up?
When I finished. And that's before. That was the summer of 2015.
Okay.
So I hadn't finished. I still had that final semester to go to Spain. But I was like, I need, I want to go out there, kind of having some security, job security. So I came out here, did the internship in the summer of 2015. That was my first time in LA. Besides the May, I just came to check it out for a week. Had the little conversation with the assistant of Tony, where he was like just feeling me out. Then I hit him up, like just before the summer, and I was like, you know what? I'm thinking if I could like come through for the summer for an internship with Tony. He was like, no problem. Let him know. Then Tony hit me up, email, boom, come through. I was in South Africa at the time on holiday, and I was like, okay. And he's like, where you at? I'm like, at that time, he's always like, wait. You got a place to stay? You got a car? All that stuff. I was like, I got it. Did I have it? No.
You're learning fast. You're learning fast in Hollywood. That's on the fast track out here.
So then, So then I landed that summer, did the internship. It went well. And then he was like, come, I know you're going to Spain for the fall semester, blah, blah, blah. Come back. When you're done with school, come back and come do some assisting here. So then when I went to Spain, that was 2015.
Whereabouts in Spain? Barcelona? Or?
That's Valencia.
Valencia, okay.
Valencia, that's like the third
southern,
place. Yeah, just 2 hours south of Barcelona. Yeah. I'd say the best city in Spain, by the way.
Yeah.
How was the music?
The music scene there? The dance music scene was, look, being in Boston, I went, because I spent 4 years out, 4 years, and I was always like itching, to go out, because I really didn't have that much time to DJ, right? It was always school, studio. So I was like, okay, let me go out to the club scene, go see some DJs. They were playing music. Some of it was top 40 clubs. Couldn't find really a good house club, whatever. Then I got to Spain, and I was like, yes, because then it was like dance music. That was the meat of the scene. So there was good parties that go, they start opening the club at 2 a.m. there. So you're in there till 6,
At
7.
least. Right.
Sun's coming up.
Sun's coming
Sun's
up.
coming up.
Breakfast.
You're just feeling it.
Yeah.
So that was the life.
So when did you DJ in Spain at all?
I did
What-
actually, yeah.
Yeah, while you were there.
Yeah, I got because I remember when I was going there, I was like, okay, if there's one place I know I'll get an opportunity to,
Sure.
to DJ and they'll feel the music,
Right.
that would be the place. So I took, what did I take? I think I took, I think I might have took my controller. So then I got there, I got into the scene, like the club, had conversations with people, and there was one dude who had gigs, and he was like, yeah, I get gigs a lot, and I'll pull you in, and he actually did pull me in, and then I did some DJing on weekends. That he would tell me, okay, go do this this bar here, go do this, you know.
So what kind of music were you playing? Dance music in particular, or any particular?
Dance music.
Mhm.
It was dance music. So he was like, okay, there's this spot, I can't make it. I know you have the music, so go set up there. This is like 200 euros for you for the night. I was like, okay.
Okay, that'll work.
Yeah.
That'll work.
Because that's part of that. Like I was like, man, I need to also fund
America.
this whole thing.
Right, sure.
So I need, you know, so in Spain it's cheap though, cheaper than here. My rent there was like $300 a month. 300, bro, and I'm talking huge space.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, this is a like
$200 getting paid. $300 rent.
Right.
You're
You're
good.
good.
food is like $2, $3
Yeah,
a
yeah,
meal.
yeah.
It was
Some tapas, some churros, some jamon. You're good to go.
Jamón y queso.
Jamon on cheese. There you
Yeah.
go. Jamon on cheese. Fantastic.
It's crazy what a DJ can get paid in a coffee shop in Europe, and you're in the States. It's like you have to pull teeth to make 50
$50.
or
Yeah.
night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a whole different perception
Well, there's an appreciation for it.
and appreciation for it, definitely.
Indeed. So from Spain, you came back to Los Angeles like after what, about 12 months, 18 months,
6 months.
6 months, 6
Yeah,
months.
So
Okay.
because I was here the summer, then went there for I'd say 5 months because it was the fall till the December of 2015 because I had to be back here January 2016. So I just went there, did that, went home for like a month for Christmas, then came straight from home back to LA 2016.
Right. Planting roots. You're like, you must have been excited.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
I can't imagine.
Yeah.
You must have been really excited to come back. You're here now permanently. You're here
Right.
to make it happen.
Right,
Okay. Okay.
right.
So let's say this: we're actually right now recording in a place that you use in North Hollywood,
Yes.
California, right now, where I guess there's a whole bunch of other studios in this same space, and you're in your particular studio, Studio 8, right now, and you're working on a few things for yourself. So that's a big leap from South Africa, Berkeley, Boston, Spain, back to Los Angeles after your summer internship, back here doing what you love to do.
Yeah.
How are the folks at home receiving all of what you've done thus far? Is it all right?
They kind of confused. It's like, bro, what's going on? Like, what's this movement of yours? One time you're in there, you're in Boston, then you're in
Right.
Spain, then you're in LA, then you're like working with someone for someone, then you're working for yourself, like, you know, because the first year was like 2016 with Tony, and he's up the road literally on
Wow.
on Burbank. So a couple buildings up, like 2-3 lights. That's his spot. And so I spent a year, a couple months there, and then I used to come down here because my business partner here and friend who we use the room together, he's a producer too. And so I'd come in, hang out, you know, and he's making the music I'm into. And his story is that he's Zimbabwean born, lived in South Africa in his teens, then moved in the States like late teens, spent high school here, went to college here, very much in the music scene, started producing music, got hits out, you know, big hits, and made
Right.
his name. And so I meet him, and I'm like, dude, you from Zim, blah, 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 you know, and the storyline, and then I'm like, vibe is good. So then by the time I'm like, okay, positioning myself to do my own thing, I'm like, well, he's like, yeah, I run this, he had a room in the same building, and then he was like, well, let's just share a space and make music, and let's just keep working, and then we ended up getting this room after we had another room in the same building. So now, at that point, this is 3 years, what, 2016, 17, 18, 19. So 3 years in this building.
Oh, that's a long time.
Yeah.
That's a long time. So you've been putting out stuff. Happy with your stuff you've been putting out? Getting some good responses?
Getting some good responses. You always think to yourself, you know, you could do more. You could do, you have a thing that you're looking at or what you could achieve in a year, and you're like, okay, there was a step towards the direction.
Sure.
Right.
So I'm kind of like, feeling it out. And one of the things I found was the process and the skill set to put something out that you're like, okay, cool.
Uh-huh.
This is me at my pinnacle of what I think I'm capable of.
Right.
And now I'm ready to let the world hear this. So the whole step of going to Berkeley was, like I said, starting off in Johannesburg at that studio,
Uh-huh.
was like, okay, I have ideas, but the tools and the process is not refined.
Right.
Berkeley might help me. I go to Berkeley, they help a lot. A whole difference, what I mean,
Right.
in what I do. To the point where I'm in front of an orchestra,
Wow.
wrote a piece for a 20-something piece orchestra. And I'm like, how did that happen? That's the 4th year in.
Okay.
So
That's
the
amazing.
skill sets is like, the growth was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Right.
So at least I felt confident enough to move out here and be like, okay, I can compete now.
Right.
So moving out here, starting off with Tony was like, okay, now I'm at a level where I can watch what he does, his process. That time we worked on Beyonce's Lemonade,
Right.
worked on Keith, like just all the big stuff, right?
Right.
And I'm like, so that's how he does that. Okay, that's how he mixes it, And that now, in my process, becomes a part of my process of like, how can I get my records to sound that good? How can
Right.
I produce that well?
Right.
So that engineering part, he addressed it for me. Then moving here, working here, the thing with Brian is that with the friends and everybody who's like in the production was like, you could see, okay, what's their process? That's what I learned working with them. Was like, oh, Fruity Loops. I used the Pro Tools, I used Ableton, and I was like, I wasn't really feeling like I had the program that was working with what I want to make,
Right.
And then finally with Fruity Loops, I was like, yeah, this is it. This is where I'm gonna sit.
Your sound is.
This is the sound.
Yeah. It was in your head now. It
was coming out.
Got it.
The programming of the drums.
Right.
The synthesis, everything.
Right.
The programming, the
Right.
sequencing. And that would be about 2 years. About 2 years.
Wow.
So in the 4 years, I'd say that began 2 years.
Right.
The process. And then I'm like, okay, you have to spend time to get to get it to a place where you are proficient at it. And so I'd say now is when maybe towards the end of last year, I felt like, yeah, I can now really produce what I really wanted to always make.
Wow.
And I don't know. So I'm kind of looking at this year as like, okay, what
This is it.
I don't
This
know.
is it. This
I
is
don't
it.
know.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
at least I'm happy with what I'm making now.
Right. Well, that's the biggest part, isn't it? I mean, the fact that you got to be happy with what you're
Right.
putting out, and then everybody care. Everybody
Right.
else can
Yeah.
hopefully like it or don't, but you have to be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Putting out what you're putting out.
Yeah.
I mean,
So I know that you produce all types of genres of music, from pop to rock to soul to R&B. What is it about house music to you that seems to really stand out?
Mhm.
Is it because when you came from South Africa, house music was such a big thing, or is it just something that you have gravitated to since you've been in LA?
Yeah.
Or has it always been house, and then the music production came along with that?
Yeah. So with that, I'd say the house precedes the creativity.
Okay.
Because even when growing up, 15, the scene at the time, the music scene was what we call Kwaito, right? Late 90s. And that was the party scene. If you went
Okay.
out, that's what you'd hear. But then at that time, just when I started going out, this house music started playing.
Okay.
This dance music, 23 BPM.
right.
And you hear these melodies and you hear the vocals. But South Africans caught on to this very quickly because I figured, from what I as a musicologist at this point, I was like, man, what is it about South Africans and house music? And it's because at the rhythm, that beat, it's spiritual.
It's that drum.
That drum, and that consistency, and I think
Right.
that tempo too, that
Right.
BPM.
Yeah.
There's this thing about it, the vibration it does to the heart.
Sure.
And so I was like, okay, everybody seems to be happy at these parties. It invokes joy, happiness,
Sure.
dancing, and like
Right.
that type of spirit. So I grew up on this,
Okay.
and I just felt the vibe, and I was like, oh, man, can I create this though? Right?
Mm.
Can I become? It inspired me to create. So I was like a lover of house music for sure, and I was
Sure.
like, man, but I want to make this stuff.
Right.
I think I can make this. I had the piano thing because I started doing piano in high school, so I had the skill to maybe replay something I heard,
Right.
but no production skills, no engineering skills,
Right.
all that stuff.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, so then that was years like when I started getting into the DJing thing and then into the production thing. It was coming from that drive of wanting to make the stuff.
Where were you getting your music from at this time?
At the time, there was all the record shops in Johannesburg and Pretoria. There was guys the leading DJs of the time. Most of them would just own a record store.
Sure. What?
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
So he'd be like a big name DJ. Maybe I think some of the guys. There's this record shop in Pretoria called Multiracial Records. I don't know if the guy's still there. Cisco. He had a record shop. In Johannesburg, you would have like the Soul Candy guys. So what would happen is if you big name, you know, I think I saw it as it made financial sense.
Sure.
House Africa, DJ Vinny. So they would have like he would go do his gigs on the weekends, and then during the week, kind of like he'd run his record store.
Sure.
And people would come and buy the records from them. And obviously the taste is like he knows what's on the floor. Is
Right,
hot.
he's right there.
So
He's
he knows
right.
he
Sure,
knows what's gonna sell.
It's almost like a marketing tool. The DJ is almost
Yeah.
a part of the marketing. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
So the people would just walk in. They'd be like, that record you played. Which one is it? And then boom, here it is. Boom, boom, and they'd sell out. So you'd have to be like, if you wanted to be ahead, you'd move ahead. Make sure you're at the parties. Make sure you're at the store picking up the vinyl.
Right.
Because you'd get 10 maybe that sell out in a week. And, you know, that's
This
how
is so-
well we were
wow.
getting our records.
So this sound was happening. See, the thing is, for me, is like when it comes to music, sometimes it happens in these little vacuums that no one knows that this is
Right.
going on at the time. You know what I mean? And then and how the influence of certain things crossed. So this was almost like incubating in South Africa, Joburg, Pretoria, that United States, we had no clue. So when the South Africa, of course, house, Afro house, I hate to put things in categories.
Yeah.
When it hit, it seemed like a big boom, but it was booming from the jump.
So when did it hit? When you say it hit?
When I heard Black Coffee.
Okay.
Well, when I heard Black Coffee.
And that would be
2010,
Yeah.
right?
okay, 2010. So
I might be
he was
off.
probably putting out. I know those records around that time. I'm thinking which ones that might have been like.
Well, Africa Rising, that was a big
Superman.
one. That was that was
Superman.
right.
Yeah, that was
Right.
the song that came out
yeah.
of South Africa.
Yeah.
Was that 2010?
Yeah. Plus the
Around
production when that video came out with the orchestra, that whole
my
production,
God.
that whole video, that was
Yeah.
like, what is going on?
Yeah.
So we started diving deeper
Yeah.
Okay.
into that. But I imagine
Yeah.
That-
He'd been coming out.
he had to have been. Yeah.
He'd
Right.
been on the, you know, he'd
Right.
been on the scene.
Right.
And his first thing was he did a remix of Tembalam, I think that's the name of the song, but this girl called Simpiwe Dana. She's an artist. Very
Okay.
soul, like Afro soul. So she definitely like an artist. Like her stuff was slow,
Okay.
vocal, Afro vocal thing going on. And then he did a house remix of that. And it became big. That was like his first like out the gates thing. And then
Wow.
people were like, who's Black Coffee, Black Coffee? Oh wow, this remix is amazing. And it made that song even bigger.
Right.
And then from then on it was just growth.
Right. I think there's a lot of people that we actually ran into in Los Angeles, kind of like are following that trajectory.
Yeah.
If with their not just with their music, but their actual geographical location being in Los Angeles
Yeah.
as opposed to Chicago, New York, or Miami.
Okay.
I think he summers here. I hate to say summer. Sounds like Scarsdale or something. Like that, you know what I mean?
Hey, say it like it is.
Yeah, but he spends his summer here. I know he spends his summer here, especially does the Coachella thing and whatnot. So there's a lot of people that we've met from South Africa that are like, oh, that he's inspired per se to reach outside and collaborate and move and dig up their own stuff. They come with their own vibe, their own music. So
I didn't know there was so many South Africans in LA, man.
Yeah.
So we went to Swazi's thing on that Thursday.
well, it's mad support, man. Mad support. You guys show up and show out for each other, which is great.
I think that's how we met.
Right.
Yeah.
In Swazi.
Yeah.
Swazi Sunshine, shout out.
Yes, sir.
Indeed. So now let's skip ahead a little bit. You're in LA. Were you DJing when you got here as well, or no? Just basically getting involved in the production.
Getting involved in the production, I think about mid the first year, like about 6 months in, I was like, okay, because I had my stuff and I was like, let me get on it.
Any bumps in the road while first being here? Was it just as easy smoothing for your internship? how was it compared to your internship to when you actually started living here? How was that for you?
That was I'd say the internship was smoother than the because when it was the real job, it was like, yo, this guy just flipped on me. What's going on here? This is not what I signed up for. Are you the same dude?
I can't go back. I'm like, what's that? You got me now, right?
He had me now. Yeah, it was like, what?
In the words of Darian, welcome to entertainment. Because you just don't
the
know.
entertainment industry is a mofo, man.
And I hear the story all the time. It's like, how was it when you were like, like, oh, I think I had it. Then all of a sudden, boom.
Well, I think creativity and insanity, I may say, it's close cousins.
Yeah.
They're really close. There's that edge. There's that edge. You know what I mean? It's like to be somewhat really good at what you do. You're putting everything into it.
Yeah.
Nothing else really matters. And if you could do it for 24 hours, you probably would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the craziness.
Yeah.
That's part of it.
It's madness.
You embrace you embrace it.
Madness. And we, and they try at Berkeley, they really do their best to try to prep you for this, right? And I still say they don't do enough, right? Because you try to imagine it until you step in and you said, okay, that's a blind spot, but it's too late now.
Right.
I've hit the curb or whatever.
Right.
It's like they could have, if they knew this, they would have said it, but they probably didn't even know it to say it. But they try to say a couple of things, like they would say things like, okay, we know you guys want to go full throttle for 24 hours, but you got to take care of yourselves, blah blah blah. And we know you want to have these lives, rock star, whatever, stuff, blah blah. But sometimes you got to think about, well, do you want to have a spouse? Do you want to live a normal life a little bit like that, right? Some people be like, I want to be at the studio 24/7. I don't have time to be out. So then you see guys like where they talk the reality of, look at this guy's career, look at this guy's career. Both achieved some substantial stuff, but this one has no family. This one has a family. So you need to study. What does this one sacrifice? Why is it that way? And what does this one do to make it work like that? And Tony was one of those people who. He just could be there for as long as he wanted.
Right.
So you'd be there thinking, okay, 2 a.m., okay, 3 a.m., yeah. And I mean, as the young dude, you're not going to leave before he leaves.
No,
Right.
no, not
It's
doing
like
that.
whatever. Like if that's what today entails, that's what today entails.
Right.
And then I was like, that's the dedication, that's the insanity of what he knows he signed up for, and probably that's his lifestyle and stuff.
Well, I can also imagine some of it is like when you walk away from something while you're in the middle of it and getting back to it, it's never quite the same. You're
Like
working on the
making something, yeah.
Yeah, you walk away from it and come back. It's like, wait a second, it's a whole different perspective as to when you're in the trenches of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I had a friend of mine that used to work with Stevie Wonder, and then I think when he was recording albums, Stevie would run through 2, 3, 4 engineers. And he's up.
Yeah.
He's going.
Stevie.
Going. He's going.
Run through 4 engineers, huh?
Going. Next.
Yeah.
Next. I'm working. I'm working here.
Wow.
I'm working. And this is maybe because he's being blind, his sense of night and day doesn't really.
Right.
He's
Right.
When he gets tired, he'll take a break. But if he's not, he's going.
Quick
so,
nap.
So you going. You going. Yeah. Yeah. That's something else. That's next level. That's next level.
Yeah.
But talk to me about some good stuff, man. Talk to me about your music. Talk to me about what you're working on now that you're really inspired with. Where you see yourself, where you see your career going forward.
Part of it is the I don't know. I'd say there's a game plan in the head, whatever you think, or
Right.
the vision, and it's there. But half the time with my experience and watching the trajectory and saying, okay, just trust the process, and then put your best foot forward. Just now at this point, I'm just trying to be more conscious of what I'm working on and for what it is. Like just because I'm realizing time limitation is like in the past 2 years, I've been busy, but the question is on what, right? And I'm trying to now just get that part of me that says no to some things for the sake of being able to say yes to others.
Sure.
So at least I'd say last year I spent a lot of time on an album that I was proud of. That's why I spent so much time on this artist. She's of Nigerian descent, LA born, so she grew up here. She writes her own music, plays guitar, and so she had all this music that I thought was incredible, which is what I was talking about, the alternative thing. It was like, okay, interesting, but the voice though, she had like the talent of like, okay, she could carry this music.
Right.
She just needed someone to, you know, dress it up, do the production. So we did 8 songs,
Wow.
put it out. We put out 3, 4 end of last year, and then the rest of it like a month ago.
Wow. You happy?
So that's on Spotify. Yeah, I'm happy about
Oh
that.
wow, that's good.
What's-
Congratulations, man.
What's her name?
Boomy Dupé.
Boomy Dupé. Shout out to Boomy Dupé.
Yeah. So yeah, so she has the project, she has the music, now she can do her thing, you know, because as an artist you need to have the material, records, and then go do your thing. So yeah, we did that, and then that's like the kind of alternative. I don't know what to call that music. I'll just say soul.
Okay. Almost like a Reese or something. I think I know what sound you're talking about.
Yeah, she was an interesting.
Music.
She was an interesting one. She was an interesting one. You know, and the thing is that part of it was also some of my decisions was like, okay, the production style would also denotate what sound
Sure.
I'd call it, right?
Sure.
So you put some things in there that would be maybe 808y, trappy,
Mhm.
but the music wouldn't be. Like
Right.
what she wrote wouldn't be, you know? So those are kind of decisions that were made. And then, you know, with the stuff now that what I'm trying to focus on, going home for December
Mhm.
and listening to the music now and the vibes that are out with this Amapiano, they call it
Mhm.
Amapiano.
Yes.
So now Amapiano,
Is it taking over Gom?
it has taken.
Oh,
Listen,
you say Gom because I can't
Gom.
say. Thank you.
Gom.
He tries to say it.
Boom.
he's
I don't
that's
even
I
know.
always, I try, yeah.
But
Oh man, it's
Yeah.
in ya.
That's pretty good.
Boom.
The Gom. So that's
Yes.
that
That is-
unfortunately has taken a little bit of a demise, to put it lightly.
What do you think?
my piano is
It's
taking
gone.
over.
It's yeah. Amapiano has
Just
has
like that.
a total annihilation.
But am
Damn.
I
A total.
Total.
Like when I say
Like-
total, I'm not talking about a little bit. Like
bye bye.
99%, 1%. The only surviving terrain where I think you will hear Gom now is in the region where it was made.
Sure.
It originated.
What do you think that is? Why did Amapiano take over? How did it happen?
Is it Durban? Is that where it's
Yeah,
from?
Durban is where
Okay.
Gom is from.
Mhm.
I think you know what it is when you hear Amapiano, it's more it's like this. I'd say Gom is more like a house tempo.
Okay.
Hype 123, Gom 126 up there, right? Amapiano is down there at 117, 115. Now, when you look at South Africans' music history, it was Kwaito, like I said to you, right? Kwaito was the thing,
Slow.
and that was slower,
Right.
much slower. Then house came in, which was do. People were like into that, right?
Right.
So you have these two personalities
Right.
that South Africans have, and Gom personality was what it was. It was like a house thing.
Sure.
Now Amapiano is like a Kwaito thing,
Okay.
but 201, Kwaito
Okay.
201, advanced level.
Damn.
The shit is.
Mm.
I'll say this, man.
Damn.
Musically, it's crazy.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Wow.
The
More.
bass lines, everything is
More.
the percussion, like
More.
the groove. It's a
Mm,
whole
the groove.
different groove, but it's based on that Kwaito thing, you know.
Wow.
So I think people like it and gravitate it because it sounds familiar but new.
Wow. Like decimating my man. Boom. That's not it.
Boom. I like it. Boom. I was hoping it would go a little longer.
It didn't. Yeah.
No, I was very surprised when I got there, and I was like, "Wow, that's it, that was it, that's it." They were like, "We're done."
Well,
Damn.
we never know. I mean,
So what do you think is next?
it's to be
But I-
underground. I mean, like a lot of
It's
things.
still,
You know what I'm saying?
it's still gonna
Yeah,
push.
right.
It's
It's
still gonna push. I
underground.
feel like it's still gonna be pushed.
Sure.
But I also still feel like globally it still has a lot
Right,
to say.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I feel like globally Gom could, I don't know, do better than Amapiano, because I feel like Amapiano is just
Too mellow.
it's too, not even the mellowness. I feel like it's a certain vibe that I don't know if internationally it would be easily received.
Right.
Mm.
Whereas Gomez could be
It can be.
has more legs.
It has more.
Like actually would flourish in Berlin because it's kind of darker,
Yeah,
kind of techno-y
more
in a way.
more heavy.
Yeah.
You know, the subtleties of Amapiano and the nuances I think are too South African.
Right. Too South African.
Might be too specific to
Right.
South African taste and South African movement,
Right,
the dancing.
right.
Like
Uh-huh.
it's so South African that I don't see it doing an international round.
Wow.
I
Interesting.
want to
Interesting.
see it happen
Right.
because it would break my thinking of it. But the way I see it, because when I see it and I'm listening and I'm home and I'm like, yeah, no. Like, how do people even
Wow.
like? no one else can dance to this the way, you know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
you watch the videos, you see the
Yeah,
moves,
yeah.
you hear the music. It's all tailored for how South Africans would hear or want to dance to something.
So you just see it, admire it, but it's hard for you to participate.
To participate.
Wow.
That's
And that's
what
what
I
it,
think.
and things need legs. You need
Yeah.
you need more soldiers. You need more
Right.
followers.
Yeah.
That
Right.
makes sense.
Because I tried to do some of the dances with the beer bottles and shit, and I just
Yeah, well.
can't pull it off.
I had to go home to get that shit together.
Damn.
I couldn't get it from here too. I was watching it. I was like, wow, this is crazy. Then I got home and I spent 5 weeks and I was just studying them. And I was like, wow, okay, I get it. You know?
Huh.
But it's really, yeah, no, it's a little advanced. A little, yeah. It's an interesting vibe. You know? And I think, yeah, it's good development musically.
Good deal.
So-
Go ahead.
So LA wise, how long do you see yourself being here? You're gonna be here for a number of years.
Yeah, I think you know, I look at it as if like the world is the oyster,
Right.
Mhm.
and whatever works wherever it works is good with me. If Tokyo says boom, then I might be in Tokyo
Okay.
for however long that might be. But I feel like home is home, so it's always there.
Right.
Having an established something going on
Mhm.
there is always a
Mhm.
thing, but being able to move around and do participate in all the stuff that's
Sure.
going on in the rest of the world, I'm down with that. I like LA, and I would perhaps say that LA and Johannesburg, oh no, Cape Town, not Johannesburg. Cape
Yeah, it's a
Town
big connection.
would be the cities where I would want to base myself as. Like,
Right.
okay,
Got you.
if I'm not in LA, I'm in Cape Town.
Right.
Got you.
Right. Fantastic.
Any thoughts of DJing with your own productions, with your own tracks
Mm-hmm.
in the future?
Yeah, that's
Like merging it together?
what we were when you asked the question about like about what to work on now. or what is-
Okay.
That's the thing
Okay.
of being, you know, my time, being
Well,
able to make sure that
gotcha.
happens.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
artists come in and they always say, I want to do this. I want
Sure.
you to help me with this.
Right.
And then you look at your schedule during of the week and you're like, man, I spent all this time on working on these other people's projects.
Right.
Where's my time
Sure.
to make the dance music that I want to make,
Right.
or any type of music?
Right. You need to have your own time.
So I need
your
to have my
space.
own time to
Right.
make that. So I'm kind of trying to make that this year.
That's
that happens.
Kind of like the trappings of success in a certain way. You know what I mean? The more successful you get at your production, the more calls you get for
Yeah,
production.
For production.
Right.
And even the engineering.
Sure, and engineering as well.
Right.
So that
Mixing.
takes you
I need
away.
you to mix this for me. I need you to
Right.
you know, engineer this for me.
Yeah.
So it's just it's that conversation all consistently. It's like, so what did I do this week? Okay, I spent this much time on these projects.
Mhm.
Okay. What happened this month? Wow. The whole month went by.
Right.
Okay. Oh, June.
Yeah.
Holy snap.
Yeah.
What happened to- you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gone.
2019, boom.
Yeah.
Gone.
Over.
Yeah.
February, gone.
Gone.
Yeah. How about
It's
that?
already March.
It's right. That's it. That's exactly how it goes. And I feel like being DJing, so knowing that some of those weekends are not even mine,
Right.
Right.
that's another thing.
Right.
Because you're out there playing, you're not in the studio, so you know that, okay,
That's gone.
That's gone.
Right.
So I sometimes wonder, like, I always think, like, when I look at the guys, like, that are out there and successful, like Black Coffee or whatever, when there's a record out, I'm like, when did he have time to make
To
that
make-
record?
right, sure. If you're traveling all over the
You're
world.
all over the world with
Yeah.
all these gigs,
Yeah,
and you're
yeah.
flying. That takes time to get there.
Sure.
When
Right.
are you doing
Right.
the songs?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
So somehow you got to figure it out.
Yeah. I look at the
yourself.
schedules as one of the guys did. Some things like 2 and 3 days apart from a gig. You go here and you're in Berlin on the 28th, but then you're in Paris on the 2nd. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
You have this little
Little.
wiggle room there.
but you know, in this kind of business, you got to go out and get it. You
Yeah,
gotta get
I
it
feel-
while it's
I
happening.
feel like I see them sometimes in those hotel rooms doing it.
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool. I'm gonna
Right.
make it in the hotel
Sure.
room.
Sure. Give me
That's
a little
it. Get a mic,
FPC, a
boom,
mic,
boom.
right? Lay it down.
That's it.
Get some assistants. Send it out. Finish it up. Send
Yeah.
it back.
Yeah.
Have some concrete ideas. I imagine. Well, that much traveling, you got a lot of influences. You got a lot of
Oh yeah.
places where you go. You have some ideas that you want to do something a little different.
Yeah.
Probably with today's technology, you could lay it down, like you said, with Fruity Loops or any
Yeah.
kind of DAW you're gonna be using. Just lay
You
it down
can
and
get
keep going.
that type of vibe, right?
Mm.
Done deal.
Right.
Whatever you hear, like, what's that? Boom.
Yeah, I travel to Cuba with this thing, man. You
Yeah.
know, and record right on the street. Perfect stuff.
Yeah.
It's just really like in the mix of things. So I can, get some ideas from it and whatnot. So Question, my man. Anything?
No, I mean, I got all kinds of questions, and I'm glad that you invited us to the studio.
Indeed.
The space is dope.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
I mean, there's nothing like having your own space to actually create
Yeah.
whatever you're thinking about without,
And be loud as loud as you.
outside forces
Right.
telling you where to move your speakers and shit.
Well, that happens, man. That's
I've lived that life.
yeah. I mean, I could tell you the stories, man. With some moving stuff, him and I.
So yeah, so
So we have an understanding.
glad to have met you. Glad
too.
that you had to take some of your time out
Indeed.
of your day just to sit down and talk to us about the house music.
Yeah, okay. We do this for the culture of
And
house
you.
music. We think it's important that people, the entire diaspora, of this world in which we live in, get to weigh in about what their experience is, young and old, not to like have any one particular person.
Right.
People really make it for themselves. It's all over this thing, and we want to make sure that people that know
Yeah.
the culture of house music, how it's influenced people, how we need to be more connected now than ever. You know what I mean?
Ever.
As people.